Hey everybody, it's Dave, and today we're going to talk about a topic that is near and dear to my heart, which is heart rate monitors. Get it? Do you see what I did there? It's a heart rate monitor. Yeah, anyway. This video comes as sort of a request. I just started working with this guy named Edward. Shout out to you, Edward, who's going to be starting P90X3 pretty soon. I was kind of doing his intake, and one of the questions I always ask people is, do you have a heart rate monitor? He said no, and then he sent me an email today and said, I just bought a heart rate monitor. And I said, cool, let me find the video where I tell you what it's all about and how to use it and how to set it up. Most importantly, how to set it up. And I couldn't find it. I know I filmed this video, I just couldn't find it. I think I've got some new data. I've got a cool resource to share with you as well, which I will link you to in the description of this video or on the blog, wherever you're seeing it, about how to calculate the different zones and what that's all about. Let's just talk a little bit about heart rate monitors and what this data is telling you, okay? This data, most people, I think, get a heart rate monitor. They want to know how many calories they're burning. Okay, first of all, get one with a chest strap. Put this down. Get one with a chest strap, okay? The watch-based ones are not very accurate. They're doing a lot of guessing. And I've just seen from the people I've talked to, they're just not very accurate. Get one with a chest strap that's actually near and dear to your heart, okay? So that's the first thing. Make sure you got a chest strap one. The second thing is understanding the data that you're getting here, okay? If you train with power, like I'm a cyclist, so I have power meters on my bike and on my indoor trainer, and that power equation is different than the equation for heart rate, and it's more accurate. So power, it's measured in watts. It's very simple. I'm not going to get into it, but there's a very simple conversion from watts that gives you calories burned. Those are both measurements of heat and energy, basically. So heart rate monitor is doing a little bit of guessing, and unfortunately it's not as accurate as power. It usually overestimates, in my experience. If I do the same workout and I track it with my power meter and I track it with a heart rate monitor, the calorie burn on my power meter is lower and it's more accurate. However, that's still super valuable data, and it's always fun to see a big calorie burn. Let's just face it. Like, if you have never trained with heart rate monitor, push yourself to burn as many calories as you can. It's a super fun little game to play with yourself. So, which is the other reason I love a heart rate monitor. It keeps me entertained when I'm doing cardio. So let's talk about configuring it, calibrating it, which I think is really the most important thing and the main reason that I wanted to film this video. Out of the box, they're not set up. They don't know you. They don't know your heart rate zones. They don't know anything about you. So they're going to ask questions like, typically during the setup process, how old are you? How much do you weigh? How tall are you? Are you a man? Are you a woman? Those sorts of things. Those are helpful in gating a baseline. I Googled a heart rate zone calculator just so I could pull this video, and I found a bunch that were just like, enter your age. That's just irrelevant. I'm 48 right now. I know a bunch of 48-year-old guys and actually a few 48-year-old women who can pretty much kick my ass, okay? Riding a bike, lifting weights, whatever. They're in better shape than I am. I also know a lot of 48-year-old men and women who are not, okay? That age number is just not that relevant. What's relevant is your max rate and your resting heart rate. So if you've had a physical recently, you know your resting heart rate. I know my resting heart rate is 60. That's been consistent for probably 5 years. Before that, it was more like 50, but I'm getting older. You also have a heart rate monitor, so you can calculate that. One of the ways to do it, just wear it to bed. Okay, go to bed, wear your heart rate monitor, and in the morning you'll have an average number, and that should be pretty close to your resting heart rate. What happens often is people take their resting heart rate from the monitor right before they work out. So you put your heart rate on, put your heart rate monitor on, turn it on, and meanwhile you're getting your shoes on, and maybe you're drinking pre-workout, and you're getting more amped up. This thing will boost up to 80, 90 when I'm in that mode. But if I just wear it when I'm chill, it's at 60, and that's a relevant number. I need to know that resting heart rate. The other number that you need to know is your max heart rate, and that's what this little calculation is gonna do. It's gonna take your max and your resting, and then it's gonna calculate the zones, and I'll talk about the zones in just a second. How do you calculate your max? You go as hard as you can. It's my main advice. I know my max is 190 because I've been in that zone and I felt what it's like to be there, and it is a pain locker, okay? It hurts. I'm gonna throw up if I stay there for more than, say, 15 seconds. So I use that as my max, okay? What that does for me is it calculates these zones, all right? I got my heart rate zones, and I have them then plugged into my heart rate monitor. So let me show you that. Oh, darn it, I had that pulled up. There it is. So here's just a sample workout. This is a 55-minute workout. I burned 878 calories. That's pretty solid. Max heart rate of 175. average of 152, and I spent an awful lot of time in this fat burning zone. So hopefully that comes out. If not, I'll snap a picture of this and just put it on, insert it. So I have 25 minutes of this 55-minute workout in what's called a fat burning zone. That's helpful information to me. I also have 20 minutes in an anaerobic zone, which is helpful to me as well. Let's talk about that a little bit and why this data is valuable for you. If you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to increase your performance, you're just trying to get better at whatever it is you're doing, heart rate data is super, super valuable. So here's why. When your body is active, right, your heart rate's elevated. Let's use a zone for me of about 130 beats per minute. When I'm in that like 130, 140 zone, right, what's happening is my body is relying on fat. At that point, I could have a conversation with you. If you were standing next to me, I could easily have a conversation with you. If I'm on my bike or whatever, and I can talk to somebody in that zone all day long, I can stay there for a really long time because I got plenty of fat resources to pull from, okay? As you start to push into the upper zones, okay, and again, you're gonna have to calculate these, but for me, that's like 160, 65-ish. I get over 165 beats per minute, I can barely talk. I'm breathing heavily, and I'm gasping a little bit. If I had to have a conversation, it's gonna be short, 1, 2 words. 65 is that's probably like more like 170 for me. But anyway, the point is, at that point, my body is in what's called anaerobic state. In other words, I'm operating without oxygen. Now, it's not entirely without oxygen, but that's how your body sort of sees it without getting too nerdy about this stuff. What your body does at that point is it taps into your glycogen stores, and glycogen becomes the energy fuel that you're gonna use. What's glycogen? Glycogen is basically, again, super, super simplistically, converted carbohydrates. So carbohydrates come into your body, that elevates your blood sugar, that triggers an insulin response. Insulin helps that get transported mostly as stored glycogen. It converts carbs into glycogen and stores that in your cells. And when you're in these upper zones, you're really tapping into that, that stored glycogen, okay? So that's a way to think about it. You'll often see, I think even this zone is actually called, it's called the fat burning zone, okay? It's called the fat burning zone, and it starts at 129 beats per minute for me. So again, that 130 to 140 is kind of that fat burning zone. So sometimes I'll do workouts where I just stay primarily in that zone. Maybe I'll do 1 or 2 intervals to try and bump out of it. It's sort of a low intensity, steady state workout. Think about going for a walk, like a pretty brisk walk, but a walk, maybe a hike. Hike is probably a better example. That's a really nice fat burning workout. You know, you see distance runners, the reason they're so lean is they spend a ton of time in those lower zones, and there's tremendous value to that. There's also a lot of value in pushing into the upper zones, okay? What you tend to do is increase your max heart rate. So if you're setting this thing up and you're new and you do what I recommend, you kind of go all out and you push it as hard as you can during your workout, and you make a note and you go, okay, so my max heart rate is 175, maybe it's 180. Push it up, bump it up, you know? And that's the way you do that, is by working in those upper heart rate zones. But what I really suggest you do, especially for my buddy Edward out there, is just do the workout and track the data. However you're gonna track it, track the data, then we can talk about it, and we can talk about whether you're getting where you wanna go, okay? Because everyone has different goals. Everybody's got a different thing that they're trying to do. For me to film a video that's specific to everybody would be totally impossible. That's why a heart rate monitor, a calculator that just asks you your age, doesn't really work. I mean, hopefully that makes sense conceptually, right? Like, it's all about a lot more than how old you are. It's about your level of fitness, and everybody's in a different spot when it comes to that. We all have different baselines. So most of us are trying to increase those numbers. And the heart rate monitor, it's just a fun little game you can play too. I do that a lot. You know, sometimes I'll be on my bike or doing whatever. Maybe I'm doing a Beachbody On Demand cardio workout, and I see it, and I'm like, I've burned 485 calories. I'm gonna do a little bit more and get to 500, right? And I will play those little games. You know, 1,000 calories an hour is really, if I'm gonna go hard, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for 1,000 calories an hour on the bike. So I just show you that workout. That's 878 for 54 minutes. I kind of look at that and I go, man, I was slacking. Like I just didn't go quite as hard. It's just these little games that you can play with yourself to keep things interesting, keep things fun, and learn more about how your body functions, you know? And I think that's really always my goal for people is I want to teach you how this machine, you've got this insane machine that is designed to adapt to a wide variety of circumstances. Your body can adapt to sitting on the couch, drinking nothing but soda and eating nothing but pizza. You can live on that. It's probably not going to be a real fun existence, but your body is designed to do that. It's also designed to work exclusively on water and eating nothing but vegetables and moving heavy things around several times. Okay, it's designed to do both of those things. You just have to understand like how to adapt between those things and how to use things like heart rate monitor data to help you get there. So I hope that's helpful. And there you go. That's my little primer on how to set up a heart rate monitor and what it's all about. Get one. And again, please get one with a chest strap. They're much more accurate.